Bonjour tout le monde, hello everyone, and I would like to say welcome back because this will be part two of a video that you won't know that was just previously made by me in the future, I guess. I'm wearing the same clothes, maybe you'll be able to tell, and I'll try to signal it in the title and description of the video. Essentially, we are learning about a basic type of chord progression. And before, I told you that it was C, A minor, F, and G, right? You've all heard the heart, like, heart and soul, I fell in love with you, dun dun dun, ba da ba da na na da, na 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 ba da, right? That. What if I told you that that progression, that sound, da 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 da. What if I told you that that sound was not limited to the key of C major and not limited to those specific chord names in particular? Would you be surprised, or would you kind of know that? Because what if I play D, G, 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 G minor, C, D, dun dun dun. I fell in love with you, heart and soul. Da 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 bum ba da. Sounds the same. Well, of course, we're starting on a different note. Da da, when G again. Da da da. We're starting on a different note, but as you can tell, we can make the same sounding melody, and it's because melodies and music in general, it's less about the note itself as a frequency, like what exact frequency it is, and more about what the pattern and what the relationship that note is in context to other notes that are being played. So, for example, that melody, dun 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 da 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 da, right there. Okay, the distance between each of those notes. So G G G G F sharp E F sharp G G G G F sharp G F E B B B, right? The distance between those notes are the same. It is the same pattern as if we're playing in C and we go C C C C B A B C D E E E. If you notice on your fretboard, if you actually do it on the fretboard, okay? So D G G G F sharp E F sharp A. I'm getting mixed up because F sharp requires two syllables to say. G G G F sharp E F sharp G A B B B. You actually notice and you count that. So we start on G and we start on C. They're actually right next to each other on the fretboard, it's just one string apart. If you notice, you start in the same place and you do that same melody. You can actually see it for yourself. And you notice how there's similarities there, right? And because it's a pattern. It's because the whole fretboard is a damn pattern. And all music is in general. But the fretboard makes that obvious. So does the piano keyboard. It's a little harder to tell on brass instruments. But anyway, so not only is that melody a pattern, but chord shapes also, chords also have patterns. So for example, C to A minor to F to G, right? The distance between all those notes, right? From like C to A minor, so C down 3 semitones to A minor, down 4 semitones or up eighth, right? Like down 3 to A, down 4 to F, and then up 2 to G, right? To create the na 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 na, right? So how about we replicate that same pattern, but we start on the G? So our algorithm, our pattern is going to be starting on a note and then going down 3 and then going down 4 and then going up 2. So G down 3 to E minor, down 4 to C, down up to G, D, right? So essentially we have the same progression but starting on a different note, meaning in a different key, okay? So that first one's in C major and the second one's in G major. Of course, this goes into music theory, and if you want to learn more about music theory, reach out to us. In regular times, we do an event called we do Theory Thursdays. Essentially, it's basically a music theory workshop, except we like to do it on Thursdays. I would love to say it wasn't solely because of the alliteration potential that Thursday has with theory, but indeed it was that. So take it what you will from that. We do it on Thursdays. And so come out to that if you want to learn more about theory. But you can understand this without actually taking out a pen and paper and writing it down. So essentially, what we can do here is we can learn the same sound, but in all these different keys. There are, in 12 major keys. There are 12 notes, and so 12 major keys. So 12 different notes, 12 different major keys. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start on the C progression. So with that same melody we did in part 1, okay? So in the previous video. Okay, so na 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 na. Right? And so when you're practicing, play that as many times as you want and get comfortable with the chord changes, okay? And do it slow if you need to. Right? Okay, so now we're going to go to the second part of it, where we go na 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 na. And when we land on that A, na 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 na, we go to D major, na 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 na, and then to G. Okay. So that's the second part of it, okay? That's the second transition, okay? So that'll be the second part of the practice routine. Once we're on G major, we're going to establish that now we're in the key of G major, okay? Na, da, 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 da. So play that for a while and play different strumming patterns and everything. Right? Get comfortable there. Now, we're going to start that same 1, 6, 4, 5 progression in Roman numeral music theory terms. We're gonna start that same pattern, but in the key of G. Okay, and we're gonna sing. We're gonna sing in that key. So, ready? Na 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 da da. Okay, so remember how we jumped up from C2 up to D? Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing, jumping from G 2 up to A on the second part, okay? Na, 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 na. And then instead, in the first part we went from D to G, so going down from D to G. Now we're going to follow that same pattern and go down from A to D, okay? Na 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 da. And once we land on that, do you see what's going to happen here? Can you predict it? We're now going to establish that we're in the key of D, okay? Na. So we've now moved to the key of D. So essentially, we've gone from, and then second part. Okay, now we've moved up to G. Moved up one of the circle of fifths, another concept. We've moved up to G, okay? Okay? Then we do our same progression. And then the second part. And now we're on D. Okay, so D, following the same pattern. D, down 3 to B minor. Okay, down 4 to G. Up 2 to A. Okay? And then D. Okay, second part of D, up 2 to E. Na, 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 to A. Na. Okay, now we've established we're on A. Okay? That will, so going from C to G, I'll finish the pattern for you, okay? C to G, to D, to A, to E, to B, to F sharp, to C sharp, to G sharp, I'm using all sharps, G sharp, to D sharp, to A sharp, B flat, to F, oh, and then back to C. Okay, so we're eventually going to get back all the way to C if we keep doing that. All right? We're eventually going to get all the way back. All right? And so you could call this the circular exercise, or if you're familiar with the term, the circle of fifths chordal exercise. But I'm not going to use that because some people don't know the circle of fifths. So, if it's possible, and again, go slowly with this. Work your way through. It'll take weeks and weeks if you're a beginner. This is not going to be easy. You're not going to know the chord D sharp E flat major. You're not going to know it. Okay? You're not going to know it until at least a few weeks in. Okay? So, but with this exercise, you are going to play every single major chord and every single minor chord. If you follow this pattern around the circle of fifths. Okay? And it will take you great lengths, but when you come out of this exercise, you're going to not only know how to play each chord, but you are going to be able to play it in a progression, and you're going to be able to switch between chords that are in a similar major key. This is a beginner drill. Of course, you might want to switch from E flat, D sharp major to a key that's not, a chord that's not in the key, and you wouldn't have practiced that with this drill, but this is for beginners. Slash minor intermediates, so we don't need to learn that at the moment. So again, this is going to take you around all 12 keys, and it's beautiful. And again, this is just one example of the sort of patterns you can do with melodies, harmonies, voice leading, whatever you want to call it, with music. It's one of infinite. I mean, we're never going to discover all of them unless we create an AI that is so powerful that it can just mathematically study every single possible thing you can do with sound. To that point, you know what? I don't, okay. But until then, you can come up with all these different patterns. So for example, like, you can go like from C, na, da, 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 and we get to that F note. So C, D, E, F. Okay, now we're going to establish that we're in the key of F, okay? So then we're going to go the first four notes of F major scale. F, 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 G, A, B flat. Okay? And then first four notes of the B flat major scale. And then, okay, spoilers, you're eventually going to get back to C again. Okay? It's a pattern. And you're going to go, circle fourths, if you know that term. If you don't worry about it. But you're going the opposite way. And it's beautiful. And you're going to, in that process of practicing, you're going to play every chord, every major chord, and you're going to transition between a whole bunch of chords, and you're also going to sing as well. Guitarists like to sing, so it's good practice there too. So I think this is a really, really good exercise, and it's an ongoing exercise. It's something that beginner guitarists will be working on for a while. So don't get discouraged if your hands hurt or you can't get from B major to F sharp major. I mean, that's okay. I mean, I couldn't play. I mean, B7 was one of the first chords for me, but B7's. But the B major, like that A-shaped bar chord, that's a difficult one for me still to this day. So, and you're gonna have to do it in this drill. Well, you could theoretically do other shapes, but like this is one of the easier ones for B major, and so it's gonna be difficult. So don't worry about it. It's just an ongoing goal, and this is what this exercise is about. So. I don't believe there's probably other things. There's definitely 100% other things I could touch on in this, but it's a basic. We can name it. Voice chord. Basic chord progression, practice drill. Circle fifths. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna go see one of the founders of Gym Network.